Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm just playing with my light here. It's got rings in my eyes. It's bothering me. So I'm stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And it's Tuesday, and I always jump on at 2 o'clock Pacific on Tuesdays and share a sketch challenge with you. So I hope people will join. This is a really easy sketch. I made a card. I taught a class at our local museum with a whole bunch of brand new stampers on Saturday. And I used this layout for one of the cards. In fact, I used the Very Cute bundle, which is a punch bundle in the mini catalog. They all loved it. And I decided I was going to make another card using the same layout. I'm going to use the same suite, but I'm going to change it up a little bit for you. So hopefully you'll join, and hopefully you'll like the sketch. Hey, Pam. Oh, thanks for joining the launch. It was such a fun day on Sunday for those of you that were able to join. Diane Evans from Kamloops and I share our virtual launch. So we were live on Sunday from 7 in the morning till 7 at night throughout the day with product showcases, walk through the catalogs, some games, a little bit of stamping, some make and takes. It was a really fun day. So Pam, thanks so much for joining us, because I think you were there right from the beginning through the day. We're always very humbled by those that join us for the entire day, because we're always very tired at the end of it, although it's a really good tired. So I can imagine you are too. Anyway, thanks to those that joined. It was a very fun day. All right, let me switch over. Now, I didn't say that you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter or found my blog and follow my blog, you can find it. Most of the projects that I share live show up at some point in the future. Sorry. On a blog post. So usually you can get the written instructions and the measurements for these projects. If you follow my blog, you'll recognize the projects. So that's a good way to, if you miss any of the measurements, you can always watch the video again, but you can hop over to my blog when it goes live. All right, let me switch over. Hey, Cindy, welcome. All right, so this is a sketch. See how easy this looks? My goodness, how how much easier could it be? A card base, a piece of cardstock or designer series paper, and then another piece. Now you can, I'm going to kind of add another layer to it, and you can do that too, but you don't have to. You can keep it pretty simple. So your card base is either 5.5 by 8.5 or 4.25 by 11. Layer number 1, which is the blue layer, is 2 inches by 5.25. And layer number 2 is 2 inches by 4 inches. Now, I often use a piece of designer series paper for layer number 2. It's kind of perfect whether or not your designer series paper is 6 by 6 or 12 by 12. This piece is 2 inches wide, and it's kind of just a standard, good piece, because on a 6 by 6 you can actually get 3 of those across. And if it's 12 by 12, you will get 6 of them across. And so actually 12 pieces. So it's a really great kind of measurement for designer series paper. And you can fancy this up as much or as little as you want. All right, so that's the sketch. Now, this is the Very Cute bundle. It is so adorable. Everybody loved this. We did one of the make and takes used this. We used punch and some of the designer series paper on one of the make and takes. It's just such a sweet bundle. I don't think it's just for kids. I love polar bears. One of my bucket list things is to go to Churchill. I was thinking Thompson, Manitoba, but that's not right. Churchill, Manitoba, which is where they do the polar bear tours. I just think it would be so cool to do that. So this is the polar bear that gets cut out. The cool thing about this punch, if you have noticed the Give Back product, which is a Walk in the Forest designer series paper, this punches out one of the polar bears from that designer series paper. And then, of course, there's these 2 little sweet polar bears on it that you can cut out if you want to with fussy cutting. There is no punch for these, but they're easy to fussy cut. Look at this little guy prancing, just prancing. All right, so that's what I'm using today. Now, let me bring in my Got it. So I'm going to use thick basic white cardstock for my base. Perfect for a polar bear, white card base. So I've got it 5.5 by 8.5. And I will score it at 4.25. And of course, I will use my bone folder to fold into the mountain or the raised line and give it a good burnish. So this piece, isn't this pretty with these? This is the specialty paper from the Winter Meadow suite. I think it's called Snowflake Magic. I think I have that right. There are 3 different patterns. This one is Coastal Cabana and foil with the snowflakes on it. There's also one that is silver and white. And I'm forgetting what the third one is. I'm pretty sure there are 3 and my brain is not thinking about what that. Oh, I know what it is. It's Lost Lagoon with Lost Lagoon snowflakes. It's really pretty, all foil. So this is what I'm going to do, the designer series paper. You could use a piece of cardstock and emboss it. For example, I am going to use, this is the snow, I think it's called Snowflake Sky embossing folder. It's kind of hard to see, but we had great debate. It's a very controversial embossing folder because there's great debate about whether the heavy snow goes at the top or the bottom. I always put the heavy snow at the top because lots of snow falls. You could, I think, emboss this piece, Cindy. In fact, I'm sure you could emboss this piece if you wanted to. That would be really cool. Maybe we'll do that. Oh, good idea. Yeah, so we had great debate on the virtual launch about whether the heavy snow goes at the top or the bottom of your piece. And I think people were leaning to the bottom because snow kind of accumulates. I still often put the heavy snowfall at the top. All right, so then this is my piece of 2 inches by 4 inches. Actually, sorry, it's 3 inches by 4 inches. I did correct it. My copy here says that layer number 2 is 2 inches by 4 inches. It's actually 3 by 4. Okay, yeah, the heavy snow at the bottom. Yeah, that seemed to be the common theme. So this goes like this, but I did cut out a piece of Coastal Cabana that is 3.25 by 4.25. I just wanted to kind of have that extra layer. So before I do any embossing, because I am going to emboss this with the snowfall or the snowflake sky, I'm going to stamp the sentiment on the top before I do the embossing, because I didn't cut out an extra piece of cardstock to do. So I'm going to use this stamp that says Warm Wishes, and I'm going to stamp it right like that in Coastal Cabana. And now I'm going to take and run this through. So I am going to do what everybody thinks I should be doing and put the heavy snow at the bottom. I'm going to line it up. Did you know there's a line here, and it's perfect for lining up your piece of cardstock. Now I'm just going to go off. I have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You do need to use the big machine because of the size of this embossing folder. So I'm just going to run it through over here. There we go. So we've got lots of heavy snow at the bottom of our piece. Okay, now I've got a piece of basic white. I also punched out another layer. So this is a 2 3/8 inch circle punch. I haven't decided if I'm going to use that, but I was thinking I was going to stamp my bear, punch him out, and then adhere him on to the that circle, just so there's some color behind him. I thought he'd show up a little better. So there we go. So on our virtual launch, we made a card, and I just punched out the bear without actually stamping him, and I thought it looked pretty cute. You could, I didn't have any little tiny embellishments to include for the eyes, but you could probably find something that was small enough, or just use your, I'm trying to find my dimensionals, if I got any. Oh, there we go, a few left on this one. Or you could use your basic black marker and just put a dot for the eye. All right, so my sketch didn't have this, but you know, sketches are just kind of guidelines for you. All right, so let's do some gluing. I'm going to use liquid glue, and we will adhere this piece on to the coastal cabana. There we go. All right, now let's put this piece on. Like that. I'm going to use dimensionals on this. Oops, come back. You could adhere this flat if you wanted to. I'm going to put a couple in the middle so it doesn't sag. There we go. All right. Now, where is my, there we go. I pulled out some of this ribbon to add. This is this white and silver sheer ribbon. It is part of the winter meadow suite. And I thought I would just add a little bit of this kind of behind my bear. Like this, somehow like this. Kind of like that. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of Stampin' Seal. I prefer Stampin' Seal when I'm using my ribbon. I just don't like ribbon and glue, the liquid glue. So I will just take this. Oops. Stick it. Not doing very well here. Oopsie. Now I've stuck it to my grid paper. Goes like that. So I want to make sure I get it going the right way. There we go. And then I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of that. That's why I was trying to get that on first. And I'm using up all the last of my pieces. So when I've used a sheet of the dimensionals, I just take my paper snips and kind of snip around the edges so I get kind of, you know, pieces. They're bigger than what you would have, you know, the actual dimensionals, but they work really well. Uses up the remainder that's on the package. And I would have liked a little bit more. Let's see if I can pull that up a little bit. I want a little bit more sticking up. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, there we go. Like that. Oh, then I got not much sticking up from the bottom. Okay, well, there we go. That's close enough. Just like that. Gonna get him in the middle, and we'll trim. There we go. I like the sparkle on the bear. Okay, now I pulled out the embellishments that go with this. Yeah, this paper is so pretty. The embellishments that go with this very cute suite are the adhesive backed glitter sequence. And I absolutely love them because they come in, I'm going to say blue, green, and white. And the blue goes really well with balmy blue. but it also goes really well with Coastal Cabana or Pool Party. Look how much. You would think that they were made to go together, and yet the suite is really balmy blue if you look at most of the designer series paper. All right, so we just need, hey Claudia, welcome. We just need to do some stamping on the inside. So let's take this stamp that says Christmas is better together, and oops, we will stamp it in Coastal Cabana on the inside. I'm not putting a layer on the inside because of course it's thick basic white, and so you don't need a layer. And the last thing is, actually there's a little, let's do the little snowflake. Let's do some little snowflakes down here in the bottom corner. There we go. All right, so there's my inside of my card, and there is my card pretty close to the sketch. I added some extra layers, but like I said, sketches are just guidelines, so you can decorate it as much as you want. When I made the card for the class, we did punch out the bear and we put him on. We also stamped some of these presents that are in the stamp set, and we colored them with markers and cut them out. And so we did, oh, and there was a tree on there as well. So we did a little bit more on it as well. You could also stamp this adorable scarf on the bear if you wanted to. Makes it a little bit more whimsical. But it's definitely fun. I think anybody would love to get a polar bear card. I can't imagine them not. So hopefully you enjoyed that sketch. The sketch will go live on Instagram and Facebook. So if you missed any of the measurements, check out Instagram and Facebook in about just over 15 minutes or so, and it should go live. So you can grab that sketch image and use it. Don't forget to share your cards that you make. I love to see them, whether you've used one of my sketches or ideas, or you're just creating on your own. I love to see what you're creating. And every week, no, not every week, every month, I share some happy mail with people who have shared projects. So if you are part of my Facebook group, don't forget to share your projects. If you're not part of my Facebook group, the link is underneath this video, and you can just go out there, click that link to my Facebook group, and you can request to join. You can also subscribe to my YouTube video if you haven't done that already, so you get notified when I go live. So I will be back live tomorrow at 2. I have a project. It's kind of an easy project. I'm using the Sparkling Snowflakes punch, and I'm making a little treat box that I got the idea. It was a template from Paper Pixie. So Julie DiMatteo posted this. It's a really cute little box that will fit some candy treats for you. So come join me tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific for that. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Happy stamping. Bye.